So Jermaine Jones is in some hot water because of accusations of toxic behavior as a head coach. This is what we're going to talk about today. But before we get into it, welcome everyone to the USL Insight, where we talk about things happening around the USL Championship. But in this video, this is League One news because it's pretty big news. I mean, Jermaine Jones is a star when it comes to the US men's national team. And so this was huge. I'm going to do things a little bit different, but if you're a fan of the USL regardless, please give this video a like because it really helps with the algorithm. And with that, why don't we get into this story? So I think it's safe to say that everyone knows Jermaine Jones because of that beautiful goal back in 2014 against Portugal in the World Cup where he scored from outside the box. That right there was such a beautiful goal. And against Portugal, when you had Cristiano Ronaldo, Nani, I mean, he scored the goal in front of Nani. So yeah, that is like the main reason of how I know Jermaine Jones. And ever since that game, I've been a fan of his as a player because I saw the type of player that he was. He's a type of player that the in-your-face type of guy. Like, he didn't want to lose. He said that. He's a type of player that is not someone that likes to lose, and he hopes that he gives it all when he was playing. And I feel like you could see that when he did play. And of course, yeah, he did some dirt. He has dirty plays that are well known. Jermaine Jones, I feel like, was that tough guy that the U.S. men's national team needed. He was great. He had 69 caps with the U.S. men's national team. Also played for Schalke back in Germany for a while. And then he had three teams that he played here in the MLS with. And then after his playing years, he wanted to come into coaching, and Central Valley Fuego gave him that opportunity. It's the first team he's ever coached. When this was announced, I'm sure that it was huge for Central Valley because, let's face it, Central Valley Fuego was not a good team. They were in last, or they never made the playoffs in the USL League One, and there's only like 12 teams in that league. That's an issue when you're not making the playoffs. And so Jermaine Jones was going to come in and kind of be that shining light that they needed. I'm sure it attracted fans because Jermaine Jones is that head coach. He's such a well-known U.S. men's national team player. And so you kind of thought, okay, he's going to bring eyeballs to the team. But unfortunately, this story comes out and he brings the wrong type of attention to the team. The last time that he coached for the team was back in August 30th. It wasn't announced why he wasn't the head coach anymore because the USL kind of lets the teams decide if they want to announce why coaches aren't there, suspensions or anything like that, fines. It recently came out that the reason why he's not been around is because he's suspended for the remainder of the season because he was accused of pretty much being running a hostile work environment, threatening players, retaliating against players. But despite all of that, the Fuego and his lawyer are trying to get him back onto the team, are trying to reinstate him. So I think that's very interesting that the team is actually trying to bring him back on, like the owners are trying to bring him back to be the head coach. That tells me this. It confirms the saying that there are three sides to a story: his side, their side, and the truth. And so I don't know. I don't think any of us will know exactly what happened, but it is kind of interesting because Jermaine Jones has always been an outspoken player. He kind of just tells it how it is. I know to a lot of people that's not liked. He did an interview with like the CBS guys, Clint Dempsey, Marissa Dew, where he kind of said like, okay, when he came into the team, he cut everybody. He cut everybody from the team because they were in last place when he came in. They were in last place. So he said, I got rid of them because they got the head coach fired. And so if I let them stay on, they're going to get me fired. And so a lot of people could take that as like, oh, how is he bashing players? He's kind of going against them. In essence, it's kind of true of what he's saying. If you're in last place, there's an issue there. There is a problem there. And so he said, I'm going to bring in my own guys. So he's also called out Jordan Morris. If you guys remember, back when he was with the LA Galaxy, he told Jordan Morris, like, why are you not pushing yourself? You should be going to Europe and competing and trying to be the best that you can be, and don't get comfortable in the MLS. And he also got a lot of heat for that. Jermaine Jones is that type of guy. He's going to tell you what he's thinking. Let me read you guys a couple of quotes that, anonymous players and an employee working there had said. He comes in here saying he played for the U.S. men's national team. He's powerful. He has friends in the federation and all over the place. He tells us that if he wants to destroy someone's career, he can. He also says, the funny thing? He said, this is a crap league. That's what makes me mad. He said, we're at the bottom of the pyramid and he doesn't even want to be here. Another person said, or another quote is, this really hit me. He said, if you're 28 and still playing League One, you're basically crap. You're done. That's coming from someone who never coached anywhere in his life. That's the type of guy Jermaine Jones is, guys. He's going to tell you what it is. You be the judge. You guys tell me if you think he's being honest or he's not. Let's face it, guys. Is it not kind of true that the older you are playing in a third division, it's very hard. You're competing against very young guys and then just guys that are younger than you who are in the championship or in MLS, it's very, very hard as time progresses in any sport to be looked at better, to be looked at, yeah, I want that guy. Like his legs are fresher. No, if you're older, it's obviously going to be a lot harder. But again, I understand players because I don't want to work in any toxic environment. So I understand that aspect as well, because we don't know how he said it. We don't know if he was like irate or not. Something that I kind of think about too is like Michael Jordan. I think we all saw The Last Dance. After that documentary came out, Michael said people are going to hate me because of this. There was also an instance when Michael Jordan, as the owner of the Hornets, the Charlotte Hornets, he smacked a player, one of his players. He hit him. And then afterwards, that player that got hit by Michael Jordan was like, yeah, that's just Michael. I think a lot of these great athletes, they expect the best from you. They expect perfection, just like how they did it. You know, how they expected perfection from themselves. And I'm not saying Jermaine Jones is the GOAT of soccer, but Jermaine Jones, he played at a top level. At what point is there motivation? Is there trying to motivate your team? At what point is there harsh reality, harsh conversations? Is that being looked at as, oh no, like I can't work for this guy because of my mental health, and you know, I need someone who's gonna be like, hey, it's okay, you know, just keep pushing. So it's tough. I don't know what the answer is here, guys. I don't know, because I don't know the way he would say it. You know, what was the context of the conversation? And so the USL League One came out and said the decision is made and it's final. That's it. It's closed. It's a closed case. Like I said, his lawyer is actually trying to fight it, and the owners of Central Valley Fuego. So I don't know what's going to happen with the future of the Fuego, because honestly, guys, they've been at the bottom of the table all the time. They can't attract many fans. I think the average that they pull is like 670 compared to other teams, which the average is about 1,300. I don't know the future, what the future holds for this team. I don't know. And it sucks because you don't want to see any team folding. These guys, you know, they need their jobs. You know, this is their job. It's very tough to have. And with uncertainty, you never know. And Jermaine Jones has come out and said like he would love to coach for Schalke, be in the coaching staff. So I don't know what's going to happen with him as well, because next year he's on probation. And honestly, I don't really know what that means. And so the conversation about toxic coaches is always going to be there. I mean, just recently as well, Luis Suarez was criticizing the Uruguay coach because he had a toxic place there. I think this is always going to be a thing, because you have different personalities, you have different viewpoints, you have different ideas of things that can work. And sometimes a coach, they just want the best out of their players, and they come out as, I think it's very easy to get lost in motivation versus, you know, like, you suck, like, you know, what are you doing? But like other coaches do that too. And so this conversation it's a very tough one to have, guys. I mean, I guess a coach has to find that balance, and that balance is going to be very tough because you have to deal with different personalities. You have a lot of high ego guys who think they're the best of the best, and you have humble players as well, you know, are more of like, this is a team and we got to work together. So it's very tough. But yeah, guys, what do you guys think is going to happen with this team? What do you guys think the future holds for Jermaine Jones? Would you like to see him come back, or would you think his time as coaching here in the U.S. is over? Let me know what you guys think in the comments. I would love to hear what you guys have to say. And with that, I will see you guys all on the next one.